Mike is pretty much the male equivalent of a Karen, but we weren't sure if it's Kevin, Kyle, or Chad. Which one do you like?
I prefer Chad.
Chad? All right, go ahead, Chad.
You're Chad.
Continue on.
All right, so you guys like pubic hair on your shower floors? Just check it. If it's not yours.
Actually, I was
if anybody doesn't know how to do this, talk to me. I know how to do this. You have to go to this one. And last month I did Panera. And what was it the month before? I mean, come on, man.
Nothing
you are the male equivalent of a Karen. You're a Chad.
Mikey P here from the We Speak English Good podcast. Go check out my friends at the Usual Saints podcast. You won't regret it. Now let them hear it, Nature Boy.
Welcome to a new episode of the Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here with this motherfucker shaking his head and Saints. Jeremy, why are you shaking your head? Why don't you like that? What?
Nothing. You do you.
Nothing. Okay. You know, you missed us playing around with StreamYard last week. Did you like the screen cap we posted in the chat?
That was great.
Yeah, we had Mike trying to figure out how to work the thing. He's like, wait a minute, I think I could do something. He puts it up and it's like breaking news. Like, it was a pretty good joke.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel weird like saying that kind of stuff nowadays because, you know, it's considered, you know, homophobic and all. And I get that. But like at the same time, when we grew up, like making that kind of joke, like, hey, Jeremy sucks dick or, you know, something like that, you know, it wasn't a big deal. But I don't want to offend anyone now, making everyone think we're homophobic.
We could talk about that too, because there's been and I had this discussion with another friend of mine about how, you know, the whole cancel culture woke thing. I guess we kind of talked about that in a different episode, but it's, you know, if you're having a joke among friends, and obviously if it's made to be an absurdist kind of jokey way, things shouldn't be taken as offensive to conflate me telling my friend go suck a dick or you suck dick, meaning that, you know, I conflate sucking a dick as a bad thing. You know, we're in that sticky kind of weird frame where, you know, if, for example, if I called my friend a pussy, does that mean that, you know, I'm being misogynistic against women because I'm saying pussy's bad? Which for me, personally, I love pussy, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, that whole conflated thing about, well, what do you say? And if you're being offensive, you know, I do understand how people feel some of those things have been taken too far. But anyway, yeah, Jeremy, you don't suck dick, I guess, if that's...
Not to my knowledge.
Well, you know, I still have my fingers crossed that he does. One day.
That was fake breaking news. Definitely fake news. But let's go.
It's like it was on CNN.
Oh, God, this guy. All right. So let's see. Jeremy, you weren't here last week. What's been going on? Anything you want to chat about particular before we jump into the topics list? You've been gone a whole week and a half, 2 weeks now.
Yeah, just fucking busy.
Yeah.
Finally done with the outage, getting back to my normal schedule.
We didn't get a chance to say this, so Jeremy, I want to give you a chance to talk. So can you explain, if you want to or if not, what exactly entails with your job? Because we were kind of confused with it. Like, do you work for the power company? Is it, I'm not trying to get all up in your business, but I just didn't want to. No, I'm just saying I didn't want to misconstrue because I thought like you were an engineer for FP&L, but I could be wrong. I just don't want to mistake, you know, exactly what.
No, you know Homer Simpson. That's my job. That's my job.
Okay. Are there nuclear plants in Florida?
There used to be 3. Now there used to be 3 sites. Now there's 2 sites.
Okay.
There's one here and one down by Miami. There used to be one over on the West Coast, but it closed a few years ago.
All right. Well, actually, that's far more impressive than what I thought you really did. So, I mean, unless you do it the way Homer Simpson does it, then I'm like,
No, I actually this week the only reason I'm here right now is because every 5 weeks, every 5 weeks we go to training and we get tested to make sure we can still do our damn job every 5 weeks.
Oh, okay.
They try to take our license back away from us.
Sounds stressful. I mean, or is it just something that it's just built into the job and you just know you have to do?
I mean, it's always stressful because, you know, anytime you got to go take a test, there's a chance you screw it up. But
right.
I mean, the second time, if you fail one and then going back a second time and, you know, no go for keeping your damn job. That's a little stressful.
That sucks. So wait a minute. I actually got some more questions now. So is this an official state of Florida job, or is this just a?
No, it's a private.
This is
company.
Great content here, just talking about our work. But go ahead, Jeremy.
No, I work for the company. My license is through the government, through the federal government.
The Nuclear Regulatory Commission, is that what it's called?
Yeah, those guys.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah. So, all right. Jeremy's the Homer Simpson of. See, you learn something new on this podcast every week. I like it. Let's keep it up.
That's why I post those Homer Simpson gifs half the time, because that's when he says, "Oh, I'm busy working 12 days straight." He's literally twirling in a chair or twisting a knob or something like that. That's what he said. He told me, "Don't fucking lie, Jeremy. You told me that you were hanging tags on something one day."
Yeah, that's part of the job.
So, I mean, come on.
I don't know if you've ever worked in an industrial environment, but you have to tag out equipment so that someone can work on it. I don't know how Sainte's boat runs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they tag stuff out.
Yeah, according to regs, we always tag out every equipment, even though there's only 2 people on the boat. Either me, if people don't know, for a time I was the assistant engineer on the boat, and I did that for a contract, and then decided it wasn't for me. But I learned a lot, and on equipment that we're working on, you're supposed to tag, or we do, quote unquote, tag out any piece of equipment so someone can work on it, even though it's only going to be me and the other engineer and everyone else.
We literally tag out everything.
Right.
So everything gets tagged. The switch in the control room, the breaker, the actual valve, the valve handle, everything gets tagged. It's a lengthy process.
I mean, it's safety reasons, of course. I mean, I don't know how many people work, on a boat, we're out in the middle of the ocean, and I'm tagging this out so the guy who told me to go work on it, who knows it's broken and doesn't even want to work on it, can know that, I'm working. But
yeah, we got a few more people around, so we got to make sure everything's on the up and up.
Fun times. How do I know it's a nuclear power plant? Because I don't know the difference when I drive by between yours and like the one I drive by in Orlando. It looks the same to me.
The one in Orlando, those are actually cooling towers. It's not a nuke plant. So that's a lot of nuke plants have those, but yeah, those are much larger. They're cooling towers. We don't use those at my plant. The big buildings at my plant are actually the containment structure.
Okay. So we have one listener or one watcher right now. They've just committed suicide. So thanks for that, Jeremy.
You asked the question, motherfucker.
Good.
So, hey, I'll tell you what I did last week. And I went to St. Augustine and stayed at the Villa Victor Hotel. I'm going to name drop them because I'm about to say some shit about them. So,
what a surprise. Mike didn't like something.
Listen. Heather booked the hotel. I usually book them, but I would think I was working, so I told her to book it because it was kind of a last minute thing. She didn't realize it was like handicapped accessible room, or however they phrase it nowadays politically correctly. And so whatever, we get there, we sit down, we realize there's no shower rod, no shower curtain. So we go and ask for a bunch more towels because the floor of the bathroom got soaking wet every time we would take a shower or anything like that. But before even all that, because Heather was the first one to shower, I go into the restroom and I look on the floor of the shower and there's a big black pube, just like right there, like in the shower, foot from the drain, something like that. And, so that was a little disturbing to see. So I posted on social media because, whatever, fuck them. And so I'm like, hey, maybe I'll get a response. At this point, we thought the hotel was sold out. And so we didn't think there was any point to going to the front desk. What were they going to do? Come get a tissue and remove the pubic hair? It was a few of them, by the way. It wasn't just one hair. But so I put it on social media. We stay the weekend. We come back. And I think on Monday, Choice Hotels decides to tweet back at me, oh, my God, yikes. So we don't want to see that. Please DM us, because they don't want anything out in public. They want it in the DM. So they get me in the DM. They start saying, we're so sorry, blah, blah, blah. We'd like to offer you 10,000 points for your inconvenience, whatever. And I'm like, well, that's fine. Yeah. Well, apparently it's like a free night or something. It's between 8,000 and 35,000 points are a free night, depending on where you stay. But whatever. I wasn't looking for anything for free. I was just like, they should know about this shit. And so while I'm tweeting them, I get a phone call from a St. Augustine area code. And so I answer the phone and I'm like, hello. And they're like, hi, this is so-and-so. It's a female. I don't recall her name. With Villa Victor. I wanted to call about this, about feedback we received from Choice Hotels. I'm like, okay. And she's like, so what's going on? I said, well, why don't you tell me what you want to know? And she's like, well, why don't we start with this whole shower rod and shower curtain thing? I said, okay, let's start there. And she goes, well, you guys booked a handicapped accessible room. And so you knew that that it was going to be that way. And Choice Hotels policy is to not have shower curtains and shower rods in hotel rooms. I'm like, okay, that's fine. We didn't know that at the time. We didn't realize this was a handicapped accessible room, but that's fine if that's how it's going to be. It's just pretty dangerous. And then she said, and moving on to the more disturbing thing, this pubic hair that was found in the shower. I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, why didn't you tell anyone at the front desk about it? I'm like, well, why would I? What were you guys going to do? And she's like, oh, well, so I think you're making this up. You're lying and trying to make us disreputable. So you're a liar. And I said, what was your name again? She's like, I already told you my name. And I said, well, if you're not going to tell me your name again, that's a problem because you're basically calling me a liar. She said, well, that's because you are a liar. I said, and you're a fucking cunt. And I hung up the phone. So since then,
He's worried about offending people though with gay jokes. But anyway,
I know, right?
Cunt shouldn't offend anyone.
Should be offended that I directly called her a cunt. Like, go ahead.
So I DM Choice Hotels again. I'm like, hey, listen, I just had this really horrible experience where this person from this hotel just called me a liar. And they're still saying the same thing. Oh, it's owned by a franchisee. We can't give you the franchise owner's name or number. You should call the Chamber of Commerce and get it from them. I call St. John's County Chamber of Commerce, and they say that the hotel hasn't registered with them since 2019 when they swapped owners. So they don't have an updated information. They did give me the prior guy's information, who's the general manager who I reached out to. He immediately responded back to me very kindly. And he's like, sorry to hear about your experience. I'm not affiliated with that hotel anymore. And I don't know who the new people are. So I went ahead and emailed the executive board of the hotel, Choice Hotels.
Damn, you going in deep.
Oh, no, fuck that. I know how to do it. If anyone doesn't know how to do things, email the executive board, and you can find it online at there's a website called Elliott. I think they're customer advocates, and you can get all of them. And I did it for Panera last month because Panera they kept resetting my account because someone's trying to log into my Panera account. They keep locking my account. So every time someone tries to log in, and they don't get in, but they try to get in, they lock my account, making me have to reset my password. And their response to my problem was, oh, you should just change the email address on your account. I'm like, why would I do that? How is that my problem? I said, no one's getting into my account.
Mike, hang on just a second. So Saint, me and Vinnie had this conversation already. So Mike is pretty much the male equivalent of a Karen, but we weren't sure if it's Kevin, Kyle, or Chad. Which one do you like?
I prefer Chad.
Chad? All right. Go ahead, Chad.
Chad.
Continue on.
All right. So you guys like pubic hair on your shower floors? Just check it. If it's not yours.
Actually, I was
if anybody doesn't know how to do this, talk to me. I know how to do this. You have to go to this one. And last month I did Panera. And what was it the month before? I mean, come on, man.
Nothing
you are the male equivalent of a Karen. You're a Chad.
This exact situation happened to us when me and my wife stayed at Best Western, I believe, in Pensacola, Florida. She went in the shower and she's like, this room hasn't been thoroughly cleaned. And there was like a pube on the wall and the pube in the tub in the bathroom. I mean, the rest of the hotel was fine. I mean, we didn't have any, but we didn't have a shower curtain issue or whatever like that. But
what did the executive board say to you?
Yeah, didn't take it that far. We're like, we're out of here the next day and we'll just, then actually, I think we did call and tell them that, the room was a little dirty. And I think they did give us something, if I believe so.
I'm emailing the executive board because of the response from the hotel and the response of Twitter, Choice Hotels, not giving me the franchise owner's name, which should be a fairly simple thing. They're going to pass along the information to the same bitch that called me and called me a fucking liar. So that's useless to me. So that's why I'm emailing the executive board, and hopefully I'll get a response. I just did it this morning, so we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated.
We need to get you some like frosted tips so they can see you coming.
Jeremy,
this is why I want Jeremy on every week. This is the reason why he has these one-liners. I'm just like, yes, frosted tips.
Right. Jeremy stays in these, these really expensive hotels that you clean properly, I'm sure. So this one apparently is not one of them. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with we had a pretty good weekend. It's just, besides my suitcase breaking, but that's fine. That's a different story.
What brand of suitcase? Do you want to contact the executive board and let them know?
So I did contact their support. So listen, it's a Swiss gear. It's got a numerical TSA lock and all that bullshit. And so my wife picked up the suitcase, put it on the bed because I was trying to get my glasses out. And somehow in doing that small motion, she changed the lock combination. And so I went to put in the combination and it wouldn't open. So I go online, look up the reset instructions, follow them to a T, and it's still not working. So basically I can't get anything out of my suitcase now because this thing is not working. So I literally had to jimmy open the TSA lock where they usually have a special key to get in there and turn it so it was unlocked. So now my suitcase won't lock, but I am able to use it, but I'm not able to lock it.
What would be the use of having a lock you can reset without having to know the code?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a fact of not like you carrying around top secret shit or something like that. But I think it's more of if it's on an airline or a luggage carousel, someone might not want to take the time to press down the button until it clicks, set all the numbers to 0, and then set another combination and do it that way. But I'm not quite sure. I understand exactly what you mean, Jeremy. It is a little weird. But Swiss Gear didn't have any phone number for me to call. They didn't have anything like that. So I'm emailing this guy who is his name is, I think, David or Danny or something. He's obviously not understanding the very basic concept I'm saying because he's not answering my question at all. Instead, he's just regurgitating stuff I've already looked up at the link. And so I didn't appreciate that at all. But I didn't take that anywhere else because fuck Swiss Gear. I just won't buy another suitcase from them. But so this bitch who called me a liar, she can go fuck herself, and I'm going to take that as far as I need to go.
See, my last trip, the wife and I took, one of the last trips, we went on a cruise, and I don't know if you've been on a cruise, but you get on the ship, your bigger luggage shows up at your room, a couple hours into the trip, it's just sitting outside your room. I walk out there, and the little pull-up handle to roll the luggage just broken off, and just laying on top of our luggage. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, all right, so let me call the purser.
They knew they did it, and they put it on there. We're like, well, that's right. That's how we got it.
So I called the purser. They sent someone up. Oh yeah. Take your stuff out of the suitcase. 2 days later, my suitcase is back in my room, repaired. I'm like, what the fuck? All right, sweet, thanks. They fucking took it somewhere in the ship, and somebody's job is to fucking repair suitcases. I was like, that's nice, thanks, awesome. But now instead of throwing it out, we got it repaired. It was nice.
Jeremy's the kind that stays in the first class on the Titanic because he knows the word purser. I don't even know what the fuck purser is, but
actually that's actually my job on the boat now. That's what I do.
I'm sure Sainte used that word a bunch.
That's what I am. That's why I am now on the fishing boat. I'm the purser. So
this is my purser.
You have a merce?
That's a messenger bag. Thank you, motherfucker.
Yeah, a merce. Are you a messenger?
Yes, I do deliver messages to families. Hey, I can't go into that. Never mind. Right. Hey, you want your kid? Too bad.
Oh, fuck. That's messed
up. Let's see. I want to share something because I just thought about this. Let's see if we can figure out how to share a screen this week. So do you guys get these kind of things in the mail and whatnot? These Target advertisements?
Sure.
So am I the only one that, maybe it's because I haven't had sex in a while, but I'm getting kind of horned up with a girl with a half open shirt and brassiere and everything. I think it's Jeremy's like, where is this going? I'm just curious because it's almost like back in the day when guys had to look at Sears catalogs with bras and stuff like that for looking at stuff.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, there's a little thing called the internet now. And if you search, there's way more, graphic stuff you can find on there than the Target ad with the girl. Yeah.
But I like that kind of stuff sometimes. It's not supposed to do that, but it does. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. That made me happy. Anyway, I just something I thought was funny that happened to me right before the show. I opened the Target ad and I was like, oh, look at that.
All right, then.
All right.
I am renewing my fantasy football league. I know Jeremy's the only one who wants to play from the usual Saints, but hey, Jeremy, you owe me $7, by the way. But
I read the email.
So I had to kick a bunch of people out, and I'm trying to get new people in. So it's As long as I put the league fee up front, as long as they're accepting of it, then we're good to go. But it's only $25 to cover the trophy and then $7 a year to cover the nameplate and the shipping. I don't think that's too bad.
We adding water girls back in.
Who?
Water girls.
What's that?
How many players they give water to? I mean, we got everything else in there. What the fuck? Cheerleaders?
No, this is not. No, that was my ESPN league. Don't try to bullshit and say that's how my league is now. No, my league now has individual defensive players.
I think the highest scoring player was the fucking punter one year. I mean, come on.
That was the ESPN league that had head coaches and punters, and I didn't realize that was what it was. But that also falls on you because you had the opportunity to review the scoring settings and didn't understand it, just like I didn't. So I'll blame you as well.
I didn't look at it.
Head coaches and punters? Like, who the fuck has time for that kind of bullshit?
The punters got a point per fucking yard.
I think.
Punters were the highest scoring players.
And the head coach gets what?
The head coach is weird.
Listen, for win or some shit like that.
How do you score that?
Yeah, no. So this was my first time using ESPN. It was also the first time I ran a money league, and we ran it with 12 friends or something like that. And so it was it wasn't a big prize. It was $200, $300, something like that. I came in second, but the head coach thing, it was if they lost, I think they lost 5 points. If they won, they maybe got 5 or 10 points. That's basically all it was. It's basically win or lose for the team. It's basically them as a coach. The punter, like Jeremy said, it was either 0.5 points a yard or a point a yard or something. So you get punters getting 70 points a week, which maybe
fuckers for getting hundreds of points a week.
That was when Janikowski was good, and so Janikowski was the first one to go sometimes, really high up in the draft.
He was a kicker, but anyway.
Oh, sorry. He was. Oh no, he was. Oh, okay, you're right. But yeah, I forget. I mean, it was all right, but we didn't do that anymore, and that was the only time I ran a money league. But now the only reason I'm mentioning money to Jeremy is because we bought this really fancy trophy, and we had to pay for shipping and handling and nameplate insurance, and so to pay for the trophy, I only had 4 people, including myself, that paid for the trophy last year. The rest of the motherfuckers have to pay, or they're not coming back this year. I already found a bunch of people on Twitter that want to play. So
yeah, but do you really need a fancy trophy or just a trophy that says 2021? I mean, are we really giving ourselves big fancy trophies for fancy football wins? I mean, I'd have a couple, but I'm just saying it could be a tiny little football trophy that says 2001 league or whatever. It doesn't have to be are we giving out? You ever watch the TV show Pose? Have you ever seen it? Oh,
no.
But these ballroom balls where the transsexual people, and then they all want the biggest huge trophy, and it's it's just a fancy football trophy. It doesn't have to be complicated. It should probably cost you wow. That's the trophy?
That's the trophy.
Who won?
Last year was my coworker, Tim. So each year it'll get shipped to you and you get your nameplate put on there. So he put his nameplate on there. I don't have a picture of that with it, but that's pretty nice.
Maybe I changed my mind. That's actually, I thought it was something that you just keep yourself. I didn't know you guys passing around like the Stanley Cup. That's actually, that's actually, maybe I should get in on this. I'd like to take a picture yep.
Yeah, we pass it around I got the inspiration from, and you get a ring too.
From the league?
Yeah, of course. We wanted to have our Shiva and everything, but it didn't work out that way. So, but yeah, good stuff.
No, my best year I was in two.
No, this is Jeremy.
Yeah, what the fuck? Why do you have that picture in there?
That's in my photos, man.
Nice hair though.
Fuck,
Jeremy.
Yeah, I was in college.
Nice hair.
Back in the day.
Wait, so is this
years ago.
Do you guys all get in and do an auction and all that kind of stuff, or you get?
No, we don't do an auction. We do a live online draft. I try to get people together. Last year, I think I had. Oh yeah, it was me and one of my other coworkers. We went to Kilted Mermaid in Vero, had some fondue, had some drinks, and just did it live. But usually with everyone's so spaced out, it's hard to get everyone in the same room together, So
do you guys do a snake draft or auction?
I do snake.
No, can't. I refuse.
Why?
Snake. I mean, when I was deep into fantasy football and I had a bunch of different leagues going, and just snake is just the worst. I can't. To me, it's just totally. It's too. I don't know. It's just not as fun to me when it's just a lot of who ends up winning those is just who ends up getting lucky to hit the number 1 and number 2 slot. And if you're in the middle or the bottom, you're just basically just fending for yourself at that point. And when I compare it to the auction leagues, I do so much better together, and they tend to be much more fun because it's like no one can ever say, well, the only reason you won is because you got this player. That it's like every player is available to everybody who's can strategize and work it out the best. So last two auctions, I guess that was the year before, but I won both of those when I was the only one who paid for, and this shows how long ago I paid for both Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez and what's his name when he was on the Saints, Jimmy tight end. What am I thinking? Jimmy Graham. I had all three of those tight ends in both of my leagues in that year, and I ended up winning that year. But it's only because I was willing to pay for them. I would have never gotten three tight ends that I was willing to pay for, and they come up for me. Snake drafts are just the worst. Sorry.
I don't think I've ever done anything but snake drafts. I don't know how to do an auction draft. So.
Nah, do an auction draft, man. And the rules in the auction draft can get kind of silly too. But the best one is everyone starts out with $100 or $200, and everyone just bids, and you just start out. Okay, I'll take Tom Brady for $1, and if you really want Tom Brady, you can spend $50 or $100 to get Tom Brady if you really want him. But you required at the end you have to end up with at least $9 to buy every single position for at least $1. So it's easy and it's better. Get everyone in the room, drink beer, make fun of somebody who clearly overpays for someone because Ben Roethlisberger for $150. Okay, buddy,
But as I stated, we can't get everyone in the same room. That's the issue.
Gotcha. Oh, you do. I mean, there's a way to get online too. I mean,
I can't even get all these motherfuckers to participate in the snake draft together. Okay, it's like, hey guys, we're doing the draft this time. Make sure if you can't, you do your pre-rankings, and then they don't even do that, and so they're drafting weird shit first. But that's fine.
People are busy. That's our fantasy football. I like to get back into it, but just being on the boat, I can't keep up with who's good and who's bad. I can't keep up with it as much as I want to, so it's tough.
You could connect pretty easily. You only have to check it once a week, at least once a day if you need to.
Yeah, but to get good, you need to be on top of okay, what teams? I like to do a little when I was really into it, I'd spend at least 2 hours really who should I start? Make this kind of trade, that kind of trade.
I think Sainte used to go to Gamblers Anonymous.
Nah, now I'm just I don't know. Those were for money too. Ours was the one it cost $25 to get into, and the other one was $20. So I ended up winning that 1 year. I made $300 off fantasy football. But
I forgot. This is one of the shirts that I was thinking about getting the logo put on. I got the yellow or I got this gray right here. I'm trying it out to see how they feel. Feel pretty good. Feel nice and thin.
Would you buy the shirt or go through a website?
Yeah, I went to a local place and they said they were going to give me samples. I'm like, oh, sample's cool. And then they're like, that'll be $22. I'm like, motherfucker. In my mind, sample means free. so
they $22 just for the shirt or to put the logo on it too?
For two shirts. They're the samples. I don't know how much. I think they charge. You have to order them by a dozen, and I don't know how much they charge. I have to get to that point. I'm testing out the shirt. As soon as I knew we were doing the podcast, I took off my work shirt and threw this one on to kind of test it out. My most important thing is I don't want the collars to be able to stretch and get bacon neck kind of shit.
Yeah.
And to feel nice and thin. This definitely feels nice. It's breathable. So we'll see. We'll get around to it. All right. Let's see. It's been about 30 minutes. I guess we could take a break before we dive into the topics, and then we'll go from there. And maybe Vinnie will show up. I don't know if he gets into a position to record, whatever that means. Right. He must not be at home. But and I don't like editing from here because I like to be able to have separate audio files. This is one audio file that I have to kind of find the break. It's not that difficult. I sound like a real Chad or whatever, but it's annoying to have to find the break and then go instead of having the separate audio files to go with. But that's fine. And I already paid for a year of this shit, so I guess we're stuck with it.
How much was a year?
What does that mean? Oh. Sorry, Jeremy was sending in the messenger group talking about Vinnie's filming on the can. It was $468 for the year, and that's for $468.
Oh shit, that's some more money.
Yeah, I'm the one putting out the money.
I'm about to say we might have to pony up some. I feel bad. Now, if you're gonna tell me, are you paying it by monthly, or do you get a deal for the year, whatever?
Now for the year, I would have done it monthly because I want to test it out a little bit more. But for the year, you get $120 off. So
okay,
yeah. All right, we're talking shop. We'll take a quick break. You listen to the Usual Saints. We'll be right back.
We can cut all that shop talk out. I mean, just edit all because you're looking for an edit break anyway, right?
That's my edit break.
Okay.
Hi there, this is Romanda Brockett, a registered dance movement therapist, and you're listening to the Usual Saints podcast. That means if you're tuning in with underage listeners, you might want to be careful. There's some language in here.
Welcome back to Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here with Jeremy and Sainte. Maybe Vinnie will pop up shitting on a toilet again. We'll see. The amazing things you can see when you watch our podcast or listen to it. Guess you can't see it when you listen to it. That's me talking shit. But Jeremy, you gonna say something funny about me?
Shit, that was awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. We can start with the most recent things on a topic list, and we can go from there. And of course, if there's anything you guys want to talk about, I'm really excited about the Kingpin sequel because I love Kingpin from the Farrelly brothers. Right in between Dumb and Dumber and There's Something About Mary. That trilogy of movies right there. That's pretty much the epitome of '90s comedy for me right there. So, what do you guys think? Were you guys fan of the original Kingpin? You know, Bill Murray, Randy Quaid, R.I.P. and what's his name? Woody Harrelson. Yeah.
I mean, I liked it. It was all right. I don't know that I'm super psyched about the next one, but it was, it was an entertaining movie if I remember correctly. I'm sure I haven't watched it since then.
Oh, you need to watch it again, man. You're a bowler. That's like the bowling movie to go to right there, or Big Lebowski. But Kingpin's funnier in a more lowbrow way.
Well, I also think Kingpin is more bowling centric. It has more to do about the bowling than the Big Lebowski. I mean, Lebowski a little bit, but Kingpin. I don't know. I think a more interesting discussion, and we have this on the USSR, is of course, everyone gets excited because we're going to make a sequel to a movie. 20 or damn near 30 years later?
It's 25,
right? Or should they just be making something new? I mean, that discussion comes up all the time. Is like, do we just want more sequels, remakes, or would we much rather them try something totally new and different? It's always a discussion I have. I'm starting to think more and more, it just seems like everything is becoming, a sequel, a remake, instead of just trying to come up with something original. And usually, a perfect example of this for me is Anchorman 2. I love the original Anchorman. The original Anchorman is like one of my favorite comedies. Then part 2 comes along and, I don't know if there was just too much time in between or whatnot. And part 2 was just kind of like, the jokes didn't really land as well. Everyone just seemed to be, I know they tried to take it up a notch, but it just didn't hit like the first one did. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I wasn't a big fan of either Anchorman, honestly, even the first one. I know people love it. Yeah. I don't know. I can't get into it. I can tell you what it is. And Jeremy,
you're not a big Will Ferrell fan, right?
We've had this discussion before. I like Will Ferrell in certain things. Elf, he's funny in. Old School, I love him in. So I feel like in more of a supporting role or a secondary role, I love him in. But where he's the main draw, I've tried Talladega Nights. I don't like. I've never seen Step Brothers.
Got to shake and bake, man. Shake and bake. Step Brothers also one of my favorite. For my money, I thought Will Ferrell, like, he was knocking it out the park, to where for a while I was thinking like he's one of the funniest guys. Just that Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, Anchorman. Now lately it's kind of been more misses, but that era for me, Will Ferrell was just.
Wedding Crashers, great.
He had that bit rolling where he played like their mentor or whatever.
Yeah. Great role.
Well, getting back to the Farrelly brothers, so you're saying they should find more original material. Let's go down their filmography, okay? They start out with Dumb and Dumber, the first Dumb and Dumber.
Gotcha.
That's high bar right there, man. That's a high bar. They go to Kingpin. I still think it's right there, right up there. There's Something About Mary. Great. Those three right there.
Yes.
Then they go to Me, Myself, and Irene. Not really.
I enjoyed that movie a lot, though. I see where they're going, but okay, go ahead.
I think, and then the next one after that was Osmosis Jones, which I actually thought was okay, better than Me, Myself, and Irene. It's the one where Chris Rock plays a virus. Yeah,
he plays like an atom or a molecule. Something. Yeah.
Oh, it says right here: a policeman white blood cell with the help of a cold pill must stop a deadly virus from destroying the human they live in.
Should have been a black blood cell. What the heck? No, go ahead.
Then they go to Shallow Hal, which a lot of people find problematic nowadays.
Oh yeah,
It's right in the title.
I wonder if you can see. I wonder if you can make that nowadays. Where that probably not.
No. That was 2001. You could not make that 20 years later. No. Then you get Stuck on You. Does anyone remember that? I don't think I ever saw the whole thing.
I remember it, but I don't think I saw it. I remember I was like, "Ooh, this is getting a little too."
That's the one with Greg Kinnear and Matt Damon where they play Siamese twins.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, now I remember it.
Then
Matt Damon was one of the most interesting film careers of all time. But I'm going off the rails, but go ahead.
No, it's fine. We can go off the rails. Then they shift into romantic comedy mode and they make Fever Pitch, The Heartbreak Kid, and then they switch.
Who is in The Heartbreak Kid? What was The Heartbreak Kid?
It's Ben Stiller and Michelle Monaghan and Malin Ackerman.
Okay, I remember. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Then they switch back to, let's go more to a frat kind of thing with Hall Pass, which I think I saw. And I love Jason Sudeikis. Owen Wilson's okay. I don't remember if I saw that or not. Has Jenna Fisher? I don't think I saw that. And then they do two things for properties that are already established. They do The Three Stooges, which no one remembers, I don't think. I never saw it. Yeah. And then Dumb and Dumber 2, which I didn't even see. What I remember...
Is that Dumb and Dumber that didn't have Jim Carrey?
No. That's the one they did like 15, 16 years ago. That was the prequel. This is Dumb and Dumber 2. That
wasn't them though, right?
No, that wasn't them. This is Dumb and Dumber 2, which you don't even remember. The only thing I remember about it is seeing the trailer and seeing Jim Carrey sitting in like a nursing home in a wheelchair, pretending he's like comatose, and Jeff Daniels comes to visit, and then Lloyd, like Jim Carrey says, "Oh, I've been pranking you like for 20 years or something," and then he pulls out the catheter or something. So that makes me laugh just thinking about it, but I've never seen the film, so I can't speak to if it's any good or not. Did you guys see either? I mean, you guys didn't even seem to think it existed, but no.
Nope.
No.
That actually came 7 years ago. 7 fucking years ago, and none of us have seen it.
But that's kind of the point. It's like you're making Dumb and Dumber 2 when they had Dumb and Dumber and should they be making a Kingpin 2 or should they be trying to do something original? That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean.
Man, they're doing Top Gun 2. What the fuck? Yeah. I mean, they'll put anything out there that think will get somebody to go see a movie.
Anytime that trailer comes
later, the Russians don't exist anymore, but we're gonna fucking make the movie.
Anytime that trailer comes on, I can tell my wife losing love for me and just pointing it towards Tom Cruise. Okay, like she gets all excited. She's like, "Ooh!" And she just wants to see it. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. The trailer looks interesting. What?
She has love left to lose.
That's funny.
You said the trailer seems. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've seen the Top, and I understand why people are excited about it. You know, more Top Gun, more Tom Cruise running, 80s nostalgia. But if you look at that trailer, it looks like they're just trying to remake the original Top Gun. There's going to be, a few characters, I'm sure some of the actors, couldn't make it or they couldn't or are dead, but it looks like.
Or they just don't want to put them on screen.
Like we're going to talk about that.
They're playing beach volleyball again. It's like they're just trying to create the first.
So interesting, I believe was the wrong word. I'm interested in seeing what they do with it. Do I think I like the original one? I'm not this huge fan like a lot of people are. My wife is. I want to see what they do with it because, like you said, it does seem like it's a rehash of the original, but I don't see how the studio would spend hundreds of millions of dollars to rehash a 35-year-old movie. But I could be wrong, and we'll find out this summer if it actually gets released. If you notice, like Jeremy alluded to, the love interest from the first movie, Kelly McGillis, is not coming back. And most people think it is because she did not age as well as Tom Cruise. And so Tom Cruise has Jennifer Connelly coming in as his age-appropriate love interest. I think she's in her late 40s, early 50s by now, probably. So that's his.
Let's get back to you weren't a big Top Gun fan, more of an Iron Eagle guy?
I don't remember seeing Iron Eagle, but I remember like the Iron Eagle titles. Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't see Top Gun when I was a kid. I saw Top Gun, I think, for the first time, maybe in not film school, because I didn't go to film school, a film class in college.
Really?
So,
wow.
Yeah, it was, and I bought it. I owned it on DVD. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I don't know. Maybe because I saw it so late and it didn't form that impression on me when I was younger as a teenager or a kid.
You did see Red Dawn, right?
The original one?
Yeah.
I just saw it this year when I was on leave.
What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Wow.
Yeah, I told you, I haven't seen a lot of stuff that people think is classic. Like, I didn't see Goodfellas till like 5 years ago. I didn't see. Yeah, I know.
Oh man, here I'm thinking I'm dealing with a film, enthusiast over here. I hadn't seen Goodfellas. Are you crazy?
Brewster's Millions?
No, I've never seen Brewster's Millions. That's the one with Richard Pryor and John Candy or something like that.
Yeah.
What the fuck? How do you not see the Richard Pryor movie? Toy?
I've seen the toy. Come on, I know the toy. I've seen.
Well,
yeah,
I enjoyed Brewster's Millions.
No, you can't say well. No,
wait.
No, you've lost that right.
I mean, you can skip Red Dawn. Trust me, you're not missing anything there. But Goodfellas, I mean, probably one of the best. Goodfellas actually is the best gangster movie, not mafia movie, because Godfather and all that. But Goodfellas is still the best gangster movie of all time, about gangsters and what it's like to actually be on the ground level gangster. So
yeah, it was good.
Wow.
No, I mean, I don't know. It's probably because I saw Casino before. I love Casino. Goodfellas was good.
And Casino is the logical successor to it, but Casino has to just deal with. And I don't know. I think for me, Casino kind of takes a turn where I don't really believe. And I know that it's loosely based off real life people, but I just sort of just can't believe that the turn he takes is he is so ruthless. But it's just this woman. I know Sharon Stone, got Academy Award nominations, all that. But there's something just a little less believable about Casino than it was about Goodfellas. And I think because maybe Goodfellas was just a straight, even though some of it's probably bullshit, straight about, what's his name?
Henry
Hill, about his life. But I think now with Goodfellas, you're getting peak gangster. This is what it's like to be a street level gangster guy. And, when Casino, I think Casino was more trying to explain I love the first hour of Casino, which just tries to tell you how the mafia infiltrated Las Vegas. But then later on with the Sharon Stone part and stuff, I don't know, a little bit of it became, strange things happen in real life, but I think Goodfellas all the way through is, to me, it's still probably my favorite Martin Scorsese film. I can't really think. I look at Casino. I mean, The Departed I got more issues with that movie. Even though he got the award for that movie. But Goodfellas.
Are we gonna save this for USSR?
We can, but I think Goodfellas is 10 times better than The Departed by far.
I love The Departed. What other Scorsese films do I absolutely love? I mean, he's done so much, it's just, and I haven't seen a lot, honestly. Like still haven't seen The Aviator. I haven't seen Cape Fear. I saw Raging Bull. He did that, right? I'm not a huge fan of Raging Bull.
Yes.
I saw. Did I see Mean Streets? I know it was on my Netflix list. I think I watched Mean Streets. Oh yeah, because of the ending. Okay, so that was his first one. I think that was okay. I don't know. Like, it's always weird. Like, unless it's Tarantino, and even Tarantino, like some of his films I don't hate, but are lower, obviously, on the Tarantino scale of films that I love. And he, and we're going totally off track, but he's talking about hanging it up now too. Because he thinks I think he's done 9, so his 10th one should be his last, according to him. And he's like, I don't even know if I want to do that, because what if it's not good? What if I'd rather go out on a high note of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood than make something that's not a bomb, but not as highly regarded as that was.
And again, we're off the rails, but I also feel with Tarantino, the difference is Scorsese, I feel, just makes the films. And we had the whole thing where, he talked about the Marvel films being like amusement parks and not real cinema. And I think that's like, old man telling people to get off my lawn because Disney's a behemoth. They're making movies that people want to see. What I'm saying? Are they all good? No, but not all independent, small, auteur movies are good. You can make a good comic book movie or a good independent movie. It just depends. But the difference is, I think Scorsese's just a working man filmmaker. All he wants to be is director. And I kind of feel Tarantino wants to be a brand. And a lot of things he says is just so that you still know that Tarantino is out there. Like, he made a big deal. Like, I'm only going to make 10 movies and that's going to be my 10 and that's going to be it. And it's like, well, why? If you're an artist and you have something to say, why not just, Spielberg's like, Steven Spielberg's probably going to make a movie till he's dead. So Scorsese, as long as they find things interesting. But Tarantino has to make this thing is like, I'm going to make 10 movies and that's going to be it. And then you can go to film school and comment on, what's your top 10 of my, I think he's way more meta idea and he thinks about himself in movies, you know, when he's not, you know, just stealing stuff he's seen from Western and samurai films and all. It's like, as much as I like Tarantino, like, I just don't like the, like, I don't know, the stuff around it, you know, where he's building himself as, you know, look at me as this auteur. And I think Tarantino's the type that he absolutely wants people in film school to talk about his 10 films and rank them and decide, you know, what was he saying in this and all that, where I think a lot of other filmmakers, you know, they just make movies. Like, I'm just gonna keep making films. So my Tarantino rant. Go ahead.
He's yeah, I mean, he's talked about like writing plays and writing books and stuff once he retires from filmmaking. I'm on the same mindset as you though. Like, Spielberg, I think the quality of Spielberg's films has gone down, not because on any part of him, but it's just you put out so much stuff, not everything's going to be successful commercially and critically. Like, not everything's going to be Jurassic Park, Schindler's List. You're going to get, like, what did he do? Some Tintin movie a few years ago, and that War Horse. I've still never seen that. I think he did War Horse. You know, sure, they're great, and they're, but it's not as good as the stuff he put out originally.
Well, no, I think any artist, when you're doing something for so long, unless you take some time off and just decide I'm going to do something that completely out the realm. Like you said, Spielberg is just continually making stuff. So his early stuff as a genius is going to be groundbreaking, you know, Third Encounter, you know, First Encounters of the Third Kind, Jurassic Park, but then you're going to hit a wall where you've aged out. You become an older person. I don't want to, you know, offend any older listeners we might have. And your work is kind of just going to become, technically, you're still as good. Technically, I have no doubt Spielberg is still a great technical director, but it's not going to have that edge. It's not going to have that, you know, it's going to be a younger filmmaker. It's just the way it goes. Unfortunately, I'm afraid Nolan might just hit that wall. He might be close up to getting to that point where he's going to transition to, like, unless he takes more time between his films, you know? Everyone does.
I mean, he's taking time between his films, don't you think? What's it, 3 or 4 years between each film?
Yeah, but as much as I love Tenet, it was like, the thing about Tenet is just, it's big and it's grandiose, but I didn't really feel it was anything that was like, I don't know. I need to, like, maybe write it down to really encapsulate what I'm trying to say about it. But it's weird because I really enjoy Tenet. I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. But, you know, and or for example, David Tyree Washington's character is just called the protagonist. Like, he doesn't even bother. Like, I'm not even going to bother giving the backstory to this guy. You know, we're not going to deal with any of that. He's just going to be the protagonist, and you're just here to watch the spectacle of big blockbuster movie. And he's getting to that point. I kind of felt like he was really kind of just saying, like, yeah, it doesn't matter. This character doesn't, you know, he's not going to be saving his kids. They're trying to get back to his wife. We're just going to eliminate all that. And I'm going to show you big, huge spectacle movie that only Christopher Nolan can do. But I kind of feel like he's getting to a point where he just wants to eliminate this, you know, the middle. We're just going to get straight to the big spectacle stuff. And I can't feel like, well, now you're just letting us in to, you know, to know that you don't want to even be bothered on, like, you know, backstory and all, character, motivation, and all that kind of stuff. So
Sainte's such a racist. He's getting Brian Tyree Henry and John David Washington mixed up.
Yeah. I'm bad with names. Everyone knows it's like, I need to, when we have these discussions, I'm going to have like a list or like at least IMDb pulled up because I am just bad. Like, I'm great with faces. I'm just really bad with, you know, even famous people.
I pulled it up while we were talking just to make sure I said it right.
Thank you for making me seem like the asshole. Well, as I'm looking it up, Saint, you don't know these people's names, you know. Jeremy, anything to add? You've been quiet for a little while.
Oh no, you guys were going off on a tangent. I got nothing on it.
Listen, we all don't always get everything right. It's fine. But let's see. For director, so
I'll let you know though.
I forgot Spielberg did. I forgot. Well, no, he said First Encounters of the Close Kind or whatever he said. Listen.
Ready Player One?
Yeah, he did Ready Player One. I loved Ready Player One, and the book. You know, I love the book too. He's doing West Side Story. He has coming out this year. So Spielberg. Right. He did Bridge of Spies, Lincoln, BFG, The Post. The Post I didn't see. That's the one where Tom Hanks plays that newspaper editor.
Yeah, for the Washington Post, and Meryl Streep played the owner. That was good. No, everything Spielberg does, he's Spielberg. It's going to be good, and technically, it's always going, you know, to be of Spielberg quality. It's just there's not going to be any edge. You're not going to talk. You just listed off 6, 7, 8 movies, and there's no like Jurassic Park in there. There's no Schindler's List. There's no. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed Ready Player One. The Post was good.
Who the hell's going to be in the West Side Side Story?
Nobody you know.
Back up. Yeah, I don't think it's anyone you know. Let's see.
But it's supposed to be, him doing a musical, which I guess that's what's, going to be challenging to him. And I guess it's going to be all choreographed, and it's going to be a big, huge like production number, but there's no one famous that's going to be in it. And, it's going to be his dance musical, I guess all the greats, I guess not all, but a lot of the greats, they want to do musical. I guess if you're a real film savant, you want to like have at least each kind of movie under your belt. But it's going to be
you see some of those videos of like the old time, some of the original movies where, they'd have 50 people doing a fucking circle.
Yes.
I don't know what the hell you want. I mean, shit like that is fucking cool to see. You don't see that on film anymore because they can do that digitally. They don't need to get people to actually learn the choreography and timing. But
now this is what
he's remaking West Side Story.
That's what he's going to do. It's a big choreographed, like 100 people on set, dancing, choreographed, film it all. Yeah, it's going to be that kind of production. Go ahead, Mike.
It's got Ansel Elgort. I don't even know how to say his name. He's the guy from Baby Driver.
Okay.
What's up, Baby? You guys didn't see Baby Driver?
No, I've seen Baby Driver.
Oh, okay. I assume it's Rachel Zegler. Tony and Maria, are those the main characters? I never saw the original. So
you ain't seen the original West Side Story? Jesus,
fuck, man.
No, but I did see Romeo and I saw Romeo and Juliet. So isn't it the same thing?
No.
Which version?
What are you talking about? Romeo and Juliet is West Side Story.
The one Miss Ridgway showed us where, you got to see boobs in school, or the Claire Danes one?
I love that. That one is my favorite. Getting to see, what's her name? What is that? Olivia Hussey. Yeah.
I didn't know it was coming when we watched it in school. So
me neither. That was something very pleasant and unexpected.
No. I mean, West Side Story is taking off the Romeo and Juliet story, but it's its own, Actually, I remember, was there a podcast or something where they told me how they ended up doing that whole production and how it got made? I remember listening to a really interesting podcast about, how Hollywood made movies back then and how getting West Side Story produced and, shot. And it was a whole deal with, was it the producer or the director? Oh, sorry. I'll get more if we ever come back to this, I'll get more. But it was a really interesting podcast about getting that movie made in that time frame, in that era. So, but no, man, there's a lot of movies you haven't seen, man. I probably haven't seen a lot of more like the smaller independent stuff, where it's been a long time since I've seen some of the smaller independent stuff. So
yeah, there's some. I don't say that they're not big name people. You guys may or may not know who they are. Corey Stoll. He was the main lead in the that vampire series that was on FX. Not What We Do in the Shadows. The Strain, and he was the bad guy in the first Ant-Man movie. He's in it. Rita Moreno's back in it, playing probably a different role, I think.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Besides that, I mean, there's not. They all have to learn how to. They all have to know how to sing and dance, I'm sure. So it's not like you can just put whoever in here to make a believable film. So
is the original Maria back in it?
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Really? Natalie. The fuck's her
Natalie
name?
Wood?
Yeah,
is she dead? She's dead.
Yes, that was the joke. Dumbass.
Christopher Walken drowned her or something.
Oh no, it wasn't him. It was her husband, Gardner. James Gardner.
Not James Gardner. It was that other guy. Now I gotta look it up. Who killed Natalie Wood?
Christopher Walken was there, I do believe. I think you were right.
Yeah, he was there. Robert Wagner.
Robert Wagner. There you go.
That's who you're thinking of.
It was.
All right.
Is it supposed to be Christmas this year? The new West?
I think so. Yeah. I don't think they're delaying any movies anymore because people are going. Like, I didn't see The Conjuring last weekend, even though it's on HBO. We haven't watched it yet. But it beat Quiet Place 2 at the box office. So, I mean, people are going back to theaters,
When's Black Widow come out?
End of this month, maybe?
No, I think it's July 10th.
July?
It's a month, exactly 1 month after Loki, I believe.
Gotcha. It's July 9th. Yeah, I'm pissed at Heather. Because they're releasing it in IMAX, and I don't know if you guys have been to a real IMAX theater, but if you go to a real IMAX, you can see more of the film because they film more, but then for like traditional screens, they have to like basically chop off like an inch or two at the top in order to make it fit on the traditional screen, where in IMAX, you get to see the full picture. And the only real IMAX in Florida, now that the one in Tampa closed, is down in Fort Lauderdale. And so Heather doesn't think it's worth the drive to go see it. I love it. I do love also going to 40X in Orlando, which is awesome. I don't know if they have 40X in Tampa. Saying it's where the seat moves and it rains and there's flashlights and all that shit.
I don't want, like, I want to go one time just to see the experience, but for most films, like, I don't want to. I mean, I want to watch a movie. I don't need all the extra effects or smell-o-vision or whatever.
Matinee, baby, matinee.
Yeah, but I do like the IMAX, and then there's like faux IMAX, right? There's like that aren't
digital IMAX,
right? And,
yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same. You have to. It has to be authorized to have the right size screen to make it a proper IMAX, and you can tell it's a real IMAX by the way the seating is. It's basically straight up. And so and there's like little spaces between each seat, but the seating isn't like back like this at a slope. It's straight up, and you have seats like this because the screen's like 80 feet tall. When you go to like a digital IMAX, like there's one in Palm Bay, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not the same.
Gotcha.
That's just me being a nerdy film guy who wants to go see it.
I think I agree with Heather. Like driving down to Fort Lauderdale to see something on that, it's not worth it. No. I remember Spider-Verse, which is my favorite movie of all time, Into the Spider-Verse. I paid extra to go see it in one of the super Dolby 100 speakers, the digital screen that has, they shoot laser beams at the screen, so it's completely correct, everything. And I love the movie. Like I said, it's my favorite movie of all time, but I get the same experience watching it at home on my 86-inch. When I think going to a digital IMAX because are you disappointed, Mike? I'm sorry, but I tend to agree. Driving down to Fort Lauderdale just to be on an official IMAX screen is not going to change your experience.
I'm not disappointed.
I got a question that just occurred to me. Mm-hmm. Are they still showing these movies in 3D? Because I haven't seen anything. I mean, did it just go away?
Yeah, they either filming it in 3D or converting it to 3D in post. I think film companies just eventually didn't think it was worth it. I guess people just weren't going. Whether they can't go, like your dumbass who I bought the 2D glasses for, and he still never utilized them.
I tried. It didn't fucking work either. But anyway, moving on.
It became this way, right? Because it was a confluence. You're going to Saint, know-it-all Saint, but it was a confluence of a few things. One, it's like the 3D was just a gimmick, so that way you could see a movie and they could charge more for you. Except for a movie like I saw one of the only movies made to be in 3D, which was Avatar. The very first Avatar he specifically shot that movie for the 3D effects, and then the rest of Hollywood, they seen they could charge more. So they were just slapping 3D on top of these movies and just a way to get more money out of the box office. But what happened was, again, some theaters, they'd have to make space for the 3D, which a lot of movie theaters, the movie theater companies didn't like. A lot of audiences didn't care. And then remember there was supposed to be this revolution where we were supposed to get 3D TVs at home, and that completely just, you bought one? No.
I have a 3D TV. I do.
You fell for that? No. Yeah,
I have it.
That was supposed to be the new, we're all going to have these 3D sets at home. And after a year, all the TV manufacturers abandoned it. So then you didn't have this, why am I going to buy a 3D DVD or Blu-ray if I don't have the you know what I'm saying? So eventually that's why the studios were like, yeah, just bleep it.
When's the last time you busted those glasses out?
Exactly. Yep.
You even know where they are.
I do. They're all in the drawer right on the TV stand. I've had the TV
charged or anything?
No, they don't need to be charged.
How big are they? How big are they?
No, you can use the regular ones from the movie theater. We stole most of the ones from the movie theater.
Okay.
But no, we don't use it. I bought it 8 years ago when, basically, like you said, it was pretty much the rage. And so I think it was $2,000 for the TV, a 55 inch. I forget how big it is. And, it's not even 4K or anything, but it's lasted us. So I'll give LG props. 8 years, pretty good. It survived to move between places. So,
LG's stealing money. No, and all the TVs in my house are all LG, and LG, for my money, they make the best TVs. But I saw that thing as a fucking rip-off scam. I was like, so I'm supposed to be home and wear glasses inside my home? Like, no. and most of the films coming out for them, unless Cameron decides that Avatar Part 2 and 3 are gonna be 3D, the 3D, that's all just done. And
I'm sure he will. I'm sure. It's Part 2. There's 4 more sequels, by the way. So he's filming them all right now. So I'm sure that he's going to release it in 3D. But we'll see. I think the first one comes out next December. So we'll see.
Maybe, yeah. If Cameron, if he ever gets his head out of the ocean, the bottom of the ocean.
All right, we'll be going another 30. Let's take another quick break. You've been listening to The Usual Saints. We'll be right back.
Maybe.
Hi, this is Fred Alfred Boy. Listen to The Usual Saints on your favorite way of getting a podcast.
Welcome back to The Usual Saints. I'm Mike D here with Saint and Jeremy. What the fuck was I about to say?
Some of the stuff on the list is older than my kids, so can we just either talk about it or get rid of it?
Your kids are in your sink, the sperm. That's what you're talking about, your kids, right? Because this stuff is not old right here. This is all topical. I mean, it's talking about when Trump was president. Yeah, you don't come in the sink?
What the fuck are you talking about?
The sink.
When you're masturbating.
You masturbate into your sink.
If I'm in the bathroom.
And then you clean that up?
Yeah, with a washcloth or a towel, water.
I can honestly say the sink is never, no.
Ever. No.
Nope.
Jeremy, I seriously think we're recording with a psychopath. He's like,
I'm fairly certain of it, but
Target ads with the little shirt open and, letting it go into the sink.
I don't see what the problem is.
Like the kitchen sink, or are we talking bathroom?
No, I don't.
Laundry sink out in the garage? What the hell are you using here?
No. You guys tell me you never peed in a sink?
No.
It all goes to the same place.
No. What? There's a fucking toilet for that. It's right next to the sink usually. What the fuck?
Although one time I'll confess, I did pee into a garbage can one time because I was so far away from the bathroom and I had to. This was an old house we lived in, and I had to pee, and I was coming in from the outside, and I was just gonna go, and I should have just peed outside, but I was getting to the house, I was like, fuck it, just peed right there in the trash can.
Mike does this a lot, though.
Yeah,
I do not. No, I have in the past. It's like on the Stern Show with Ronnie washing his ass out in the sink. You guys never heard him talk about that?
I have, but it's not the same at all. No.
Okay. Let's see. We only got like 15 minutes, so I think we'll save the conspiracy theories that Jeremy put on there till next week. Maybe we could start with that next week. I don't know what he's got leading there, but I want to get it.
It would be an interesting discussion.
Most likely to be true. Let's save that because I'll actually go through and write a few down. Ones I think they're true and one I think are, even though I think most of them are bullshit, but anyway.
So this Kia dealer one, the Montana Kia dealer. Let's get this off the list. So go ahead, Mike. What do you got?
That be a big deal?
Well, that's a lot of fucking money for a Kia SUV, don't you think? They're upcharging $10,000 or $15,000 just because they're saying it's hard to find.
Okay, well, see that to me, I got some guys at work that were obsessed with the Hellcats and the Demons, and when the Demon first came out, the car cost I think it was like $70,000, but if you went to buy one, they were going to charge you like $120,000 because they had a $50,000 dealer fee because hey, you're able to buy one of these. We have one. Yeah. We're charging you the extra money. Supply and demand.
Yeah, and that's what it is. But no, I do. I mean, I'd be like, fuck you, and I'd walk out. But I get it. But what kind of moron is willing to pay that much? It's like paying $2,000 for a 3D TV back in 2013. I mean, who in their right mind?
Right. Like you said, you can walk out. Nobody's telling them they got to buy the Telluride. Go over and buy the Palisade or whatever the fuck you want. Or, go buy a Honda Pilot, whatever the fuck it is, the equivalent. But if you want the Telluride, you're going to pay for it, apparently.
Well, that's it. I mean, I just thought it was kind of crazy that a dealership was charging that much for a Kia. But, that's fine. So I took it off the list. You're welcome, Jeremy.
We haven't talked yet. Who died this week? Because I know you're dying to tell us.
I was just about to get to that because just like the Saints' favorite movie being Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, we have to mention this every week. So death.
Damn.
No, it's funny. It's 2 weeks in a row. I'm waiting to see how I can work it in next week.
I heard it, so it's got to be at least 3 weeks.
So Clarence Williams III died. Anyone familiar with him?
Shit, I saw the thing.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't he Samson in Half Baked with Dave Chappelle?
Maybe.
I think he was. Let me I'll pull up the IMDb if you want to talk. But
yeah, so my thing with him is, he was in the Mod Squad in the 60s. Obviously, that was before our time. I didn't catch that in reruns or anything like that.
Vinnie saw it live.
He's not here to defend himself. That's not fair.
That's okay. Neither was I last week, so go fuck yourself.
Do you want to defend yourself about sucking dick now?
Moving on.
No, so I remember him as like the 90s. It was probably late 90s from Tales from the Hood or I think it was Tales from the Hood, because the trailer sticks out to me. He had this crazy ass gray big hair, and he was like this creepy dude who was telling the stories, I think. And so I think I may have seen the first one. It doesn't stick in my mind, but the trailer, I remember him just like from that. He had like this velvet trench coat thing on. So I remember him from that. I know he's been in a lot of other stuff. Saint's pulling it up, so I don't know what Saint wants to get into it.
Oh, seeing him right. Let me see. Filmography. Last was 2018, American Nightmares. Never seen it. It seems, I'm trying to see. Oh, he was an American Gangster. He played Bumpy Johnson, uncredited. I don't remember him in that. A couple of guest spots. Seems like he was doing a lot of TV guest spots near the end. Some music videos. And yeah, from what I remember from was Half Baked. He played Samson, the guy, the original weed man who they became Mr. Nice Guy, and then he had a team of, women assassins to go after Dave Chappelle and his weed selling company. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, RIP to him. I don't really have much to say.
Well, he's the only famous person that I remember dying this week. So, apparently he was in like Maniac Cop 2. All right. Miami Vice. He did a lot of TV work. Cosby Show, TJ Hooker, Hill Street Blues. So he did a lot of shit, but it was back in the day. But
he was in some really weird shit. Judging Amy.
That is weird. It seems like a show you'd watch, no?
Never watched that one. No, can't help you. Reindeer Games, General's Daughter.
Reindeer Games had Ben Affleck. That was pretty big, I think, right? I want to get into Kid Rock. So did you guys see that or hear that?
Ranger. Nope.
You guys didn't see or hear that?
I heard that he had said something, but then like somebody's like, how did somebody put it? It's like Kid Rock has stepped into some like hot waters, and someone says, Kid Rock just stepped into more Kid Rock water. At this point, he's just being more and more Kid Rock, and I'm just, I'm kind of, we can get into it, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's fine. That's basically, what it is. It's Kid Rock being Kid Rock, So, no one uses the word. It's like dropping an N-bomb now. You can't say the F word anymore. Even though I think it was different when we were growing up, but because we used it in that, like we said, in that way to kind of joke with friends, but it's not good to say that kind of thing anymore. You get called out for that shit. But like you said, is anyone really shocked to hear that come out of Kid Rock's mouth? It was because people were filming him with their iPhones.
Well, of course. And he knows, but he doesn't. Here's the thing, and I'm not. We can get into the whole, I guess, conservative, progressive, all that kind of debate. But if you know anything about Kid Rock, he came up through Detroit, as a DJ/rapper, big into the African American. If you've seen one of his first music videos, it's just him, the white guy, just hanging out in the hood with nothing but black people, turntables, rapping, and all that kind of stuff. And, he couldn't.
Holy shit.
Hey, fellas.
Hey, Vinnie. Surprise.
That's the best you've ever looked.
I'm a homo, so I'm looking around for a loofah, so I thought I'd call in.
Oh, well, that's great. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the adult diapers for yourself. Get the extra large this time.
No, I like the smaller ones. They're sexy.
What's the mask for? What's the mask? Is that a rule in Georgia?
Yeah, I'm in Walmart,
really?
And I'm out in the public.
That can't be the rule. They probably have no. They have rules in Florida. It's just like, hey, and I still wear the mask when I go out, but the rest of Florida is just like whatever.
No, I wear the mask. Everybody I see in here has a mask on.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, you should yell.
We care about each other in Georgia.
Oh yeah. What about that voting rule we talked about?
Except when it comes to certain people voting, then it's like, yeah. Don't start using all your rights. Yeah.
Voting part doesn't affect me.
You need to make sure you tell everyone to listen to The Usual Saints and that you're broadcasting now.
I'm broadcasting live here in Walmart.
Well, we were just shit. What we were talking about Kid Rock dropping an F-bomb at a concert, saying "fuck your iPhone." Yeah, you fucking faggots with your iPhones out. I mean, is that unlike Kid Rock? Do you think, or what do you think, Vinny?
Hello?
Do we lose him?
Vinny's at Walmart. He's got poor reception.
Hello?
My grandpa had trouble with technology at the end too.
Hey, Vinny, we're gonna put you back into the regular place.
That sounds like your audio might be there still.
Is he still there?
Oh,
There he
I'm
is.
back.
Okay. So what do you think about Kid
Your
Rock and his
grandpa, that's
F-bomb?
Can your grandfather kick your ass?
He's dead. Thanks.
Oh, okay. I guess you probably win that one by default then.
All right, Vinny, I'm gonna put you back in the thing because your audio sucks.
We're gonna put you back in timeout. Hey, Vinny.
He can still listen, I think. What were you saying about Kid Rock? Yeah, he put out the music video. He basically grew up as what did they call it back then? Not hip hop, rock and roll. What did they call it? The mix of rock and roll and rap together. Rap rock? Was that what they called it? Like when Linkin Park came around and shit like that. But he came around in the 90s.
Yeah,
I mean, he was supposed to make his big debut, and then like Vanilla Ice happened right before
that's
his album was supposed to drop.
That's what happened. He was coming out right in that era. He came after the Beastie Boys, Third Base, where, you had a lot of white rappers who were accepted by the black, African American community. The Beastie Boys were originally on Def Jam. You had groups like Third Base, but he came right after the whole Vanilla Ice thing when there was a complete backlash, not his fault, but a complete backlash because of what Vanilla Ice was. And back then, I guess they didn't call it, cultural appropriation, but that's basically what it was. And so, his label, they got scared because they're like, oh, we got another Vanilla Ice clone coming up. And that affected him to where when, he came out with his album, Rebel Without a Cause, his
Devil Without a Cause.
Devil, whatever it was. He sort of decided, okay, they don't want me how I'm here, so I'm going to incorporate more country, rock, whatever into my act to, broaden the appeal, to make myself seem different. That I'm not just some quote unquote wigger trying to come up here through hip hop. And then I feel throughout the years, he kind of leaned more into it because, again, growing up in Detroit, kind of just like Eminem, really, he started as a DJ and he was hip hop. But then, when after that album, he leaned more into the rock and roll countryside. And then I kind of felt more throughout the years, he leaned more and more into it where he was kind of like, yeah, fuck this side because they've kind of rejected me, to where he came into the Obama years and he was just totally like, fuck this Obama for no particular reason. It was like, it's kind of weird when no one's like, you're not political before, but for some reason something happens and all of a sudden he became super political and it was against Obama and I couldn't figure out why. Like before,
I can tell you why.
Okay, and that might be my guess too. But I'm saying before, and this comes up a lot. I 100% can be down with somebody who says, fuck all these politicians. I don't agree with it, but I get the people who don't like politics, left, right, liberal, conservative, whatever. They just see politicians as people who go to Washington and don't do shit. If that's really your position, it's like, these motherfuckers go to DC and take their money left, right, whatever. And to a small extent, I agree with it, right? But then the people who are, they're like that, but then a few years later, it's like, well, really, I mean, fuck all the politicians on this side. Like, are you really a rebel, anti-establishment, fuck the man, fuck DC, all that? Or do you just not like these particular politicians because he went all the way to become a Trumper? It's like, first, it was fuck Obama, he's not this, and Kid Rock, the rebel, the, fuck the establishment, is doing commercial for Mitt Romney, who in my mind is the most, mainstream, stick up your ass embodiment of, on the conservative side, politician you can have, to where I'm so, I'm a rebel, but here I am campaigning for Mitt Romney. I can understand the Trump thing, but that came later. Like before Trump, I'm talking about 2011 and 12, Kid Rock became this fuck Obama, I'm for the rebel, anti-establishment Mitt Romney. And that's why I'm like, get the fuck out, whatever, dude, That's why I just can't believe the shit that comes out of your mouth. You know, it's not because you're conservative. It's because I thought it was fuck the establishment. Let's all be rebels. And now I'm campaigning for Mitt Romney. You know, that anti-establishment, fuck the man politician Mitt Romney. Like, okay, dude, like whatever. So, and he's just gone down that path ever since. So that's my piece on it. You know,
Kid Rock saw a black man at 1600 Pennsylvania and said, "Fuck that shit," and that's when everything kind of turned around. I actually love his first album, or that album, Devil Without a Cause. Like, I could sing every lyric on it. I love that album. After that, like you said, he took a hard turn, whether it was rejecting the people who he thought rejected him, even though that album sold like crazy. Like, right. But he went hardcore, like involved in putting country into hip hop. He did that Sweet Home Alabama version, whatever he called it. He called it something else. I bought one of his albums after that, and that was it. I think it was his best of, and that was it. But yeah, it wasn't shocking when I heard he said that, but you know, he's so tone deaf, but he just doesn't give a shit. So I don't know. Jeremy, anything on Kid Rock?
No, I didn't really pay attention. I heard he tweeted something and sort of apologizing, but used the word in the apology as well. Something like that.
Let's see.
Well, see, again, go ahead.
He did. He put, if Kid Rock using the word faggot offends you, good chance you are one. Either way, I know he has a lot of love for his gay friends, and I will have a talk with him. Have a nice day. Bob Ritchie, which is his real name.
Right. I mean, and like he went to court, and it was funny because a lot of the people in the court didn't know who he was because he was dressed down. But he's like, my name's Bob Ritchie. I'm a musician, blah, blah, blah. Talking to the court. I'm like, do they not know they're talking to Kid Rock? And like, but then again, he was dressed down, like going into court, testifying for something.
So wait, he says, my name's Bob Ritchie, but then they don't know. And then he goes, my name is Kid. No.
Isn't that Joe C that did that?
No, no. How does he say? My name is Joe C, the one you know. I'm here to steal the show or something. I forget. I gotta listen to the song to remember the lyrics.
I thought he did the intro and did that.
No, that was him.
Why would Joe C say my name is Kid Rock?
Even though now you have to say he's a little person, even though back then I'm sure they were calling him a midget. But see, again, I actually have no problem if you're talking about if it's in an educational environment or you're quoting someone so you can properly understand what someone says. I have no problem with words. I really even though I have no problem. Like I remember back in the day, there was a big issue about some certain comedians like a Louis C.K. or an Artie Lang saying, you know, using the N-word, saying the word nigga in their joke when they're trying to make a joke and explain something. Me personally, I have no problem with it as long as they're getting to a point, but it's just randomly throwing it out there. And of course, when he says faggots, he's using it in a negative connotation. So it's kind of like you're using it as an insult. So that's the wrong part, you know?
Right.
But, and he says and then as an apology, you probably are one. It's like, oh, okay, dude. Yeah, I'm sure all your gay friends are on your payroll. So it's okay. We're done with you. So.
All right. You should have seen Jeremy back in high school. He had like the dreads, long blonde hair. Like that college picture was after that. So you don't remember that time, Jeremy?
No.
The talent show?
No.
The hair is real though. That hair was that was.
I think you got somebody else.
That was some peak.
It was there.
Oh yeah.
It went away. It was there one time.
Jeremy broke out his tuba and he had these like blonde dreadlocks. He's like,
yeah, really, don't no.
All right, let's go ahead and end it because Sainte's got to go cook dinner or something. That's the excuse to end every show, I think.
That could be the running joke. We'll have the running joke of Mike complains about something, and then Saint, let's make like a musical drop, like Mike's complaining about stuff again, like
Mike's Chad moment of the week.
Yeah. That'll be a segment. Mike's Chad moment of the week, and then at the end of every show, we'll just end it like, I think Saint has to go cook dinner, even when I'm not on.
I'm Andy Rooney. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
From 60 Minutes. Isn't that his name? What? I got to get the old man cantankerous voice. Like, why do those people do like that? What's going on?
No, just
talk like you, Mike. You're doing a great job.
Mike's Chad moment of the week. Okay, what executive board have you contacted this week, Mike? Okay, let me tell you this.
It's gonna have to be monthly, probably. I don't have weekly things. I do have weekly gripes, which I could make a thing, but that's fine. What happened to the whole Florida man thing we were gonna do? Yeah. That's the same old Florida shit or something.
At some Florida shit. Even though we had Florida man throws pizza at daughter. I mean, we could.
Yeah. We'll talk about it next time.
No
All right. So let's see. Go to our website, theusualsaints.com. You can find us on any social media, The Usual Saints. I'm even on TikTok, Jeremy. I was right. I had it already set up. I just don't use it. So if any of you want to make a TikTok, Jeremy, I would love to see you make a TikTok for the podcast.
That's not going to happen.
Nice.
We got to put Vinnie in charge of TikTok. That'd be great.
There you go.
Let's see. Download, listen to us, follow us, share us, get the word out. We're having t-shirts hopefully soon. And we'll go from there next week. We'll be back with a all new episode. I don't know what we'll talk about. We never really know what we're going to talk about here. Maybe we'll have an interview, maybe not. We'll see if we get another Usual Saints screen reviews recorded. If you haven't already heard the one Saint put out for us, we did Demolition Man this week. I don't know exactly which one we're going to have next week, but we'll have a new one for you. What are you going to release those on Monday, Saint? To Sunday? When did you return?
Yeah, I mean, Monday or Tuesday. I mean, the Usual Saints proper, you drop them on Mondays, right?
I drop it Sunday at 10 p.m.
Sunday, 10 p.m. So maybe Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday sound good.
All right. So we'll see which one we have. We have a few ideas in mind. Loki. We've talked about Mayor of Easttown.
We got to do Bo Burnham's. And so you guys got to both.
I know.
Hour, 20 minutes. You can get through it. And trust me, you'll be entertained the whole time. And we'll discuss it.
All right. If I'm not, you'll hear about it on the Usual Saints screen reviews.
You can contact my executive board if you're not satisfied.
I got Ashley on the Instagram. I'll be like, Ashley, okay. I have a complaint about Carl.
Gotcha. No doubt.
All right. So for Mike, or for me, for Jeremy and Saint, I'm Mike D. And for Vinnie, who popped in for a minute. Yeah, he popped in for a minute. He wasn't shitting this time. I'm Mike D. Thanks for listening to Usual Saints. We'll be back next week. Have a good week.
Yep.
There you go, Jeremy.
All right.